Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear listeners. It's Kipsangok Chebet from the Christian Army Podcast, and it's the year 2024, and we are on season 4. Wow, that has been a long journey, and I would love to say thank you to our listeners for just working with us the entire year last year, and we welcome you back. I know it's been long. Happy New Year first. Ataka tuko February, but Happy New Year. And now today we are going to do a question and answer session. It is really simple, and these questions we got from the audience, and we're going to tackle them today. So before we tackle the questions, I would love for my guests to introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, I'm delighted to be here. My name is Lorena Buire. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jan Faraja.
Hello everyone, I'm James Mugeni, the guest.
Hi everyone, so my name is Doreen. I'm happy to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. So we are going to do this very easy. So I have the questions, and you're going to pick a paper, and then we're going to tackle. Okay. So they're going to read out the questions they have, and then we are going to tackle them. So I know, it is rampant, it is random, and okay, I hope you're just going to have a nice session. So I don't know who's ready. Who's first to go?
I'll go first. Why should Christian youths date in the same church, or are Christian youths allowed to date in the same church? Yes, that's the question. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Am I supposed to
Yes,
answer?
you're supposed to answer.
I really do not understand the question.
Okay, so they're just talking about relationships and how the relationships should go about. Maybe in a Christian setting, do you believe that a youth should date in church?
I think dating is a beautiful thing, especially in a church setting. Yes. Yeah, it's acceptable, and if you do it like in the choir njia inafaa. Yes.
James, what do you think about Christian dating?
I think Christian dating, it is so nice, so beautiful, and because if Christians date, they're involved in God. That's what I believe, and what God is, whatever you involve God, then of course it shall prosper, shall succeed at the end. And therefore I think when I heard the question clearly, said is it good for Christians in the same church to date? It is so good. It is so good to date in the same church. Yeah, if you have agreed. The Bible says in Amos 3:3 that two cannot walk together unless they agree. If you date in the same church, you have one faith. You understand one another. You understand your church background, and actually this one will be the best one, and you'll be able to understand one another. So long as you do it in a godly way. Yeah.
So the thing here is godly. There should be God in the middle.
Yeah, God should be at the center of everything.
And that means, when you have God, it means you can avoid, or how will I put it? Yeah, bodily pleasures, because we have made it like it is normal to have sexual intimacy, Okay, there is intimacy and then there is sexual intimacy. So we have made it and we have normalized it, which actually should not be the case, because they say sex is holy because it is done in holy matrimony. Where? Okay. All right.
Me, I feel like that it's okay for two people who are in the same church to date. After all, want to naambiwa, and the altar is where you find your partner. You cannot expect to get you're a Christian, you're a believer, and you want to marry from outside the church. And at we can't rule out the fact that we also come to church looking good to get
people. Yes. To get soulmates.
That's right out. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and people from the same church
Date. Mm.
Yes.
Yeah. So tunasema single ladies wakuje kama wameng'ara. Tunatafuta watu tuko kwa soko. So okay, second question, who's ready to go?
Yeah, I can read and try to answer at the same time. The question I have: what is the effect of the poverty in Christianity to the reputation, stroke the name of God? And the part B of the question: looking at other religions, is the church doing enough to address the issue of financial lack? Actually, the church is really let me begin the first part of it, the last part of it. The church is really trying to solve this issue. And I can give an example for our church. Our bishop, we are blessed to have a bishop who always tackle these financial issues and how we can get rid of this poverty in our families. You know, it's in most cases watu husema kwamba Christians are the poor people, are the most people who are poor, but it is not true. Let us look at the examples in the Bible. You allow me just to use example in the Bible so that at least we get that confidence and that courage that we are supposed to be the most richest people even in this world. Look at the likes of Abraham, who is our father of faith. He was very rich. And he had faith in God. He believed in God. Why not now then to us as Christians? Why can't we be rich? And this actually, when a Christian is poor, discouraged, even he or she cannot get that confidence and courage to go and preach the gospel, because utaendaje kuhubiria mtu ako rich, ataanza kuambia kwamba mbona Mungu akaja kusaidia. But when you are rich, at least you get that you'll get that confidence and that courage to tell someone about God. Namwambia God, even though that I'm still serving God, but I can still be rich at the same time. Mm-hmm. Look, when Solomon was asking for wisdom and knowledge so that he may know how to go out and come in, and God said that you have asked you have asked a good thing, and on top of that I'm going to add you all things that you have not asked for. And wealth was part of the things that God added unto him. So Christians, we are supposed to be rich. We should get rid of this poverty. And the Bible says that let us worship and honor God with our wealth. That means we have to be rich. Mm-hmm. How will you give if you don't have something? Mm-hmm. And God doesn't expect us to come to the church empty-handed. We must come with something. That means you will be richer.
How to be rich.
Yeah.
Okay, here ikifika hapo maneno ya pesa inakuwa ngumu kidogo. And also, God said go and work hard. After that pia alisema he will bless the work of your hands. So to mean that God has got you, ni venye tu saa zingine tunakosa kujituma. And then we have tumezoea kuiba fungu la 10, hatutoi fungu la 10. So there's no way your pocket will be blessed. So anyway, I know it's tasty waters, but ama sijui kuna mtu anataka kuongeza kitu.
Maybe before someone adds, and Paul, when you go through the letters of Paul anasema kwamba we worked hard so that we don't become a burden to you, so that they depend on themselves. Si atu analai kwa sadaka peke yao. You have to work hard. I think what is causing poverty in Christian most of Christian families is because we rely more on prayers and we rely more on going to fellowships rather than going to work. And God said that we have to go and work, and God shall bless the work of our hands. So if you are not working, you just praying is very good, going to fellowships is very good, but you don't ignore. Hii ni historia ya kwenda kufanya kazi. Fanya kazi. Unataka Mungu abariki hata mikono. If you are not working, you must be working.
It's not just about the wealth. It's not, because kuna ile story you are rich and you're not not even happy, you're not even comfortable. You have the money and a lot of money, but then you're not enjoying it. Because the Bible also talks about enjoying your money.
And the youth.
Yes, you can find that you have a little, but you're really satisfied with it. But saa zingine you have a lot, but then you're not even at peace.
Nakwambia kuna riches sasa ya pesa, alafu tunakuja riches za peace na kuenjoy.
Maybe just what she says is totally right. And also just to add to support her point, David made a prayer to God that God may bless me, but give me the one that I will be satisfied with, so that I don't become poor. Nikaanza kuomba na usifanye pia nikakosa nikaiba. So something to support her answer to be contented. Yani you become rich and ile ya kufanya ukuwe contented.
Na usifanye nikuwe na excess
nikusahau. Yeah.
And then comparison pia. Yeah, the thing of comparing wealth. You know, Mungu anaweza kupatia that which you have and you're contented with it. So stop, like, if you start comparing, that's when you start saying, God has not given me.
Utaumia sana. Anyway, mko sawa? Okay, question 3, let's go.
What's the difference between delay and patience? And when we say we wait on the Lord, how do you know the waiting period is over?
Rudia hiyo kwanza.
What's the difference between delay and patience? And the next question is, when we say we wait on the Lord, how do you know the waiting period is over?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, according to me, I can say you can know whether the waiting period is over if maybe God has answered your prayers. That's the first thing. You can know the period is over. And again, you can know the period is over when maybe you've been going through a certain storm in life, and God has given you a word, and you hold on to that word until you reach to until your prayer is fulfilled. You can know your waiting period is over. And then when it comes to the question of between delay, what's the difference between delay and patience? I think we can say delay is when you've prayed and your answers have taken quite some time to be answered. So that's delay. I can term that as delay. Yeah, and they might be certain forces. Yeah,
or even
not all delays are kawaida.
Or even the answer might be out there, but you don't know how to listen.
To listen to God.
To God, yes.
Okay.
If you don't know how to listen, you will feel like there is a delay. But if you learn to listen, you will know whether it is a wait, it is a yes, or it is a no. But still, yes, there is delay because of sometimes there is spiritual forces that is affecting them. There is the family history that is just causing that to delay. Anyway, continue.
Or also if you have not known the word kabisa, because there are some certain scriptures for certain situations. If you are going through, let's say, the childbearing process, you have not dived into scripture sana, you'll find that kutakuwa na delay hapo, because you must engage the word do you come to fulfillment, because the word says that the word of God is active and living, and it cannot come and go back the way it is. Yeah. So that's about delay. And about patience, I think is when God tells you to wait, or yes or no, you're in that period. So you just need to be patient. Kunanga otherwise hapo. You need to be patient until God is done with you. Ndio sasa answers zako zi come. Yeah.
You received a word from God, and then God is telling you to wait. That's the meaning of patience.
But also there's this instance, okay, maybe let us say tulisema tuko soko Now you have been praying for your permanent, your mpoa, whatever. And then, also Satan listens to the prayers. He knows that prayer. If you're not really keen, you will get a husband, but from Satan. If you're not you are not communicating with God. I always tell people you have to have a relationship with God so that you're able to communicate and listen. But sasa hiyo wewe umeomba tu umesema sasa umefika ile place yenye you are impatient, you're becoming desperate, you're comparing yourself to someone else, you want their story, unaanza kusema miaka zimekushika kama mimi venye zimenishika. Now you start being desperate. And because Satan is listening to that prayer, he tests you and gives you a husband. Na ni ule tu kama ule tu mwenye uliombea lakini atakuwa naka shida. So I think there's also that part where you have to listen to God and have a relationship to God.
Yeah. May to talk about delay, to add on what they have been said before. I remember the story of Daniel. When there was a lot of iniquity in the land of Judah, in the exile there in Babylon. So he decided to get into a prayer and fasting for 21 days. And the Bible records that immediately the first day he got into prayers, his prayers were heard and answered, but there was some delay. Just like my sister Lorna has said about spiritual forces, actually, and in most cases, to us Christians, what attacks us is those forces from the enemy. So the enemy delayed the answers for the prayers of Daniel, and until God sent angel Michael janakwanga vita who came and fought, alafu baadaye angel Gabriel brought the message. So hizo forces ndio kwa nafanya mostly inakuwa inafanyanga na kwa delay, na maybe delay ingine maybe inakuwa out of ignorance. You're being told to do this and you're not doing it. Unaenda tu unajiongoza mwenyewe. Alafu patience when think about the things of life and of God, I think there should be a sign. Look at the story. I like giving the story from the Bible. Like Abraham. Let me use an example of Abraham, because currently we've been doing a study in the book of Genesis, and it talks about Abraham. When God promised Abraham some promises, there was a sign to prove it. So patience, as you are being patient, I think there must be a sign also, to prove it, to confirm it actually from God. And if you have asked God for something, He will give you a sign. As He tells you yes or no or wait, there must be a sign to prove that indeed you are being. And that one will give you courage and confidence to remain trusting upon God. Abraham waited for 25 years before he begot Isaac, but there was a sign. There was some signs, and actually he was to be he had to be separated from his family. So hapo kwa family, maybe the reason why pia maybe delay pia inaweza kujia hapo, because maybe kama angeenda kukaa pale kwa familia yake, hiyo tena hiyo ingekuja pia ikadelay, but now it forced God to separate him from other things, because just you have talked about family forces and those issues zinafanya pia kuna kwa na delay. So at some point inabidi umekuwa separated to such forces, ndio sasa kukuwe na quick response to your prayers.
And also delay is not denial. When you're in that season of delay, you just need to ask for the peace of God to prevail in your life. That alone will take you through that season until you until your prayers are fulfilled. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Next question. If you're getting somewhere.
Okay. The next question: how do you deal with the pressure of feeling that you need to find your purpose there and then?
Yeah.
I feel like we have kind of answered this
Mm-hmm.
question because we've talked about
Delay.
Yeah, and we have to, like Lorena said, about finding peace. Asking God for the peace.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like there is a delay or when you're waiting, just ask God for that peace. And about your purpose, I believe like kila mtu ako na purpose. We were all called, we were all given a purpose. live a day at a time. Just
Tomorrow
live a day.
we'll
Yes.
worry about
Mhm.
it on self.
Yeah, if you get-
Preachings.
Yeah.
If you get the activities of the day, just do them to your best. The next day again, do them to your best. You know, your purpose will, because if we talk about purpose,
Ni wide.
yeah, and again, it's something that I don't know, but I feel like for this, just live a day at a time, no pressure, because even for me at some point I felt like I don't know my purpose, and time is moving, like, and you don't know your purpose, time is moving. But then I say, live a day at a time. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, and also just pray about it. And as tumesema, pray about it, but as zingine pia you get, the enemy is not happy. The enemy does not want you to have a purpose. The enemy wants you to be confused. But keep consistency in prayer. I believe like whatever you ask in God is faithful. Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to say something on the purpose.
You don't have anything.
So maybe can just ask to repeat the question so that
Okay. The question was, how do you deal with the pressure of feeling that you need to find your purpose there and then?
okay. All that you have said is correct, and the Bible tells us actually mimi nena Biblia
Tunajua wewe ni pastor. Ni pastor.
So the Bible tells us that we have to involve God in whatever we do. If you want to find your purpose, you have to involve God. Let me give maybe a small testimony of what our dad told us, and he has always told us whenever we have a gathering as a family, and every time tabianga kwamba before aanze kufanya kazi anafanya, because he had tried mambo na masomo, alikuwa anasoma na akuwa mtu wa kumsupport. He cried for one whole year, but hakusaidia. Kaambia God, sasa maisha yangu kama imefika mwisho. But ikafika something came into his mind, akaambia God, Mungu, naomba unichagulie kazi. Sasa inakuwa kuchagua, ni vyema kuchagua kazi njema maishani. And actually God chose for him, and nayo kazi anafanya hadi saa hizi. Now that means if you involve God, as the Bible tells us, that let us not trust the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Yes, I know you have wisdom. Look at Solomon, as I have given an example before, that before he started to reign over the people of Israel, he had to ask God to give him guidance. So we have to involve God in before we make decisions. Sometimes we rise to make decisions whereby we end up to finding that's not the purpose of our lives. So unapomsaidia Mungu, actually the Holy Spirit, the Bible tells us the Holy Spirit will be able to teach us. He will teach us, and these are things that He'll teach us to know our purpose in life. And I rely more on God, and also it is also good to follow your heart. I can say to follow your heart if there's something like that. Kwamba moyo wako nakwambia, and what you are good at. You have also, as you ask God, na pia kuna kwa ile conviction. For example, if someone maybe he or she may be gifted in singing, but I realize, but kuna kitu ndani yake namwambia tu hiyo kitu nakwambianga, you have to follow it. So follow also your heart, provided it's aligned the will of God. Yeah.
Wow. Ni moto, ni kumoto huku ndani. Are there any pending questions?
So this next question, what's the cause of the tension between the male and female gender?
Tension between
Pardon?
male and
What is the cause of the tension between male and female gender?
Like femicide.
Yeah,
Feminism, misogyny. Hiyo ni tricky.
I feel like your topic is a bit crucial. It's a bit crucial. But I feel like hizi courses zinaweza follow the men. Hizi courses zingine zinaweza follow the
The ladies.
Yeah, because I believe like courses pia inaweza kuwa environment.
Depression.
Yeah, inaweza kuwa the pressure, inaweza kuwa hata inaweza kuwa pia pressure by the way. But mainly umesema depression, which comes with pressure. But I feel like me, I will talk about the environment, because the environment you were raised in, the people you stayed with, they really matter in shaping who you are, in shaping your character. So maybe if you are a victim of even maybe somebody was your parent was murdered or something like that. I feel like me, I would talk about the cause of the environment. But I really can't talk much about that topic. But I would say like it's not a good thing to take a life. That is against the commandments of God to murder. So whether or not this person has done anything, anyhow, you shouldn't take someone's life. Whether it's a male, whether it's a female, you shouldn't take anyone's life. And I just have to say that it doesn't matter the cause, the what. Just stand on the ground like, don't take
You have anything to add? Go sawa?
Yeah, niko sawa.
Still.
So I think awareness has to be created and people have to be taught about these things.
Yeah, gender violence cannot be tolerated, and we will not tolerate gender violence as a church. When it comes to killing, when it comes to femicide, I know it is a tasty subject, but we really need to talk about it. You will say it is the BNB saga, nini. We have 246 cases that are accounted for. But now, 99 of them were killed by strangers. The rest, 100 and something, waliuliwa na nani? You'll say, oh, you're going to meet a stranger at Akua, but now tell me about this person who was killed by the husband or who was killed by the boyfriend. So it becomes a bit hard when we put gender violence in and everything. But the church does not condone violence. It does not condone killing, because one thing it is like the life that we have, we were given by God, and no one has the right to take that away from you or from someone else's life. So yeah, let's stop femicide. I think we have the last question, and then
Yeah, there's another question here. Everywhere the government is being thrown stones at. What the role of the church, the believers in such an issue? Has the church failed to do its part? I can say the role of the church or the believer in the church is to let us look at the issue of corruption. It is said that 80% of Kenyans are Christians. Now the problem is, or the question is, why did we have a lot of corruption in our country if 80% are Christians? And the Bible is really against corruption. The Bible is really against it. And that means this corruption we are crying about, at some point the church has also failed, because they are participating. Our government, it is said to be government ya watu wameokoka, and most of people who are there, they are corrupt. But so I think we as a church, we need to fight this, and we cannot fight it watu wengi na kufight watu wengine, sisi wenyewe kwanza, because we are the ones wenye tuko involved, we are taking part of it. We have to stop it by ourselves first. Sisi kwanza tuache tusema kwamba we will not participate in corruption. Look, I told you in the Bible, but allow me to give an example in the Bible. Look at the likes of Daniel before ndiposa ikakuja mtupe kwa tundu la simba, walikuwa wamejaribu njia zote kama corruption, but hakuwa involved in any. I'll stand firm. Now at the end, the name of the Lord was glorified. But if you want this Kenya forwards to be on the safer side, then we have to be firm and stand and fight against corruption, just like Daniel and even Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. Hii itatusaidia sana na wenyewe na kuna mahali wasema kwamba for us to stop this corruption, don't do it, don't cause someone to do it, and when you see someone doing it, report it. Yeah, that's how I can conclude.
But unajua wanasemanga hii Kenya huwezi toboa bila hongo. I mean that is so common. But we, as Christians, we have to stand out and stand.
You know, like there is now, how will I put it? I'm trying to phrase it in a way that it is gonna be easy. Ama mtu ako najibu kwanza before niendelee.
I think
Ameisema vizuri.
pray for our government also as Christians. Pray for our leaders. Hawatumie vizuri.
Vizuri.
Believe that God is the one who gave them
Yeah,
positions.
actually the government is ordained by God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good to talk about the leaders that God has chosen.
The anointed.
Most of us, we keep talking and mouthing so much. And I feel like it's not wise to talk about someone who has been placed there.
Yeah.
Pray for them.
But you know, the Bible also had warned, God had warned the Israelites that when they get a king, they will pay for it. He will impose taxes. He will make you work hard. Say something like that. I think I did in CRE. Where? That's like 10 years ago when I did in CRE. But anyway, there is a lot that comes up with the government. But as a church, we have to pray for the government and its leaders, such that they are going to give us quality services. So you see, so I think that is that.
Maybe before God, I think it's like the foundation has been broken in our country, to be honest, and now it has to be rebuilt. To be rebuilt, because kama foundation of integrity ilikuwepo na sai it's no longer existing, then something has to be done. And you know, just as you have talked about the children of Israel, the walls of after the walls of is it Jericho or Jerusalem, they have been broken, they had to be rebuilt. So ikiwa rebuild, inafaa wale watu ambao watasimama kidete na kukataa hizo mambo na corruption, na hiyo itaanza na wa leaders. But kumekuwa na mlungula mingi, sometimes nikipita kwa njia unaona askari kama mfano kama gari imejaa ule konda nampea 50 na wanaruhusiwa kwenda, na inakosa ajali. Unajua every decision has a consequence, so you make a choice and the choices have consequences. We are crying corruption, and we are the ones who chose these ones. Na sasa we are facing the consequences of what God talked about in the Bible.
So on to the last question. So this will be directed to all of you. What do you want to experience in the podcast?
The foundation of this podcast is to grow faith, to encourage one another. And I think that is what I want to experience personally. I want to experience growth in my faith. It's just all about growing spiritually.
Okay.
Yeah, just to add on whatever she has said. Also, not only that we are the ones who are going to benefit from it, but our audience are going to benefit from it, because I'll be more happy and grateful if I hear someone gave his life or her life to Christ through the because of the podcast nilikuwa nasikia. Itakuwa kwanza ya baraka sana kwangu, and I believe that in this podcast we are going to shine, because the Bible says, hey, munanielewa, Isaiah 60 verses 1 to 3. I just paraphrase it. And the Bible says that arise and shine, for your light has come and the glory of God is upon you. Ukienda maybe verse 3 nasema kwamba, and kings from all nations shall come unto your light. Join it with Matthew chapter 5:13 to 16. I'm not going to paraphrase it, but it talks about being the light. And I know through this podcast we have chosen to arise and shine outside there, so that people may come to the light, people may give their lives to Christ. Yeah.
Seme sasa mimi tuongelele tuseme topic ya femicide. Itanifurahisha, like the church is taking part in this conversation, and we are creating awareness as youth, as women, also the men pia watuambie shida iko wapi. Okay, that's an example, and all those things. Yani the fact that we can relate na pia the audience, yeah. So
I think we need to bring in more experienced people concerning certain topics that we may be handling. Ndio pia tusikize at an experienced point of view. Yeah, I think that's what I want to experience in this podcast.
Hii experience hata mimi nataka ku-experience. I want to grow bigger. Wanasema grow bigger. I want to grow like when it comes to hosting. I want to see this podcast going really far, because it's our baby. Tumetoka mbali mazee. 1 year down the line imetosha tufanye birthday. No, there is that. I want to see the podcast grow. I want to grow the listeners, and then I want to just I have to do a lot. I really want to do a lot, but anyway, it's a dream, and probably some will come to pass and others will not pass. So hiyo imekuwa session nyingine naomba, nasikia tu maswali zikipita na majibu and everything, but we thank God that you're here today for season 4 episode 1, because we are starting again. Alafu tukiona hapo hivyo director atupangie birthday ya Christian Army podcast, unaona venye tutabambika. But thank you so much for making us grow. New listeners, mmekuwa wasee wa poa. Thank you for just being there, for watching, for listening, for reaching out. I know mmekuwa mkishangaa what happened or whatever. Akitu tumekuwa na hitches mingi, but we thank God that you're back on air now to tackle all of these things. Vitu zinaendelea. We have femicide, we have dating advice, relationships, we have stories about faith, we have testimonies. It is a well-packaged it's a well-packaged package. Sindio venye umepackagewa hiyo yako ya Valentine's. So now we are packaging this thing, and we want to bring it out to you in the very best manner that you can. As always, yani upate stories zetu hapa. We want you to be able to relate to it. We'll be having testimonies here ni mingi, but now always stay tuned. Every Thursday you're going to be listening from us. So thank you so much for being for listening, for being patient, and thank you so much to my guests. Mlikuwa mnakaa gorgeous. And anyway, thank you so much. So guys, it is a bye from Kipsongo Chobet, your host from the Christian Army podcast, where faith meets reality. See you then. Bye.